Morning guys, we are going to take a look at section 32-1 and it deals with circles. It's been a while since we've talked about circles, so I'll review some of the vocabulary language for you to make sure things are kind of fresh in your brain, and then we're going to emphasize the concept of circumference and area. I wasn't supposed to drop that piece of paper right there. So here we go, with not the worst circle I've ever done, and certainly not the best, and also fuzzy equipment. Let's try it again. It was fine before I hit record, and now it does this. Well, I'm going to keep going because that's just kind of what I do. It will get better. That's what I tell myself. There. So I have my center point in the circle, and I have a segment from that center point to the edge. I'm going to label that A. Segment A is what we would call a radius. Remember that a radius goes from the center to the edge. I'm going to name this whole distance D. You'll see why. D is what we are going to define as a diameter. A diameter goes from edge to edge and has to hit the center of the circle. So when you think about diameter, think about like the whole width. When you think about the radius, you're thinking about half of the width of the circle. So remember that if we were to say 2 times the radius, that equals the diameter, that's a handy little piece of information for us to have. So as we take a look at these two kind of just refresher vocabulary words, we also need to address the concept of circumference and area of a circle. There we go. So that circumference and area. When we think about the circumference, circumference is basically the circle word for perimeter. And so what that is the walking distance around the circle. So if I start here and I walk this direction, that's the concept of perimeter or circumference. And I know it's fuzzy, it'll get better. Area, oh, that's a bad circle. Maybe it's good you can't see it very well. Area is going to be the space inside. So when we think about the circumference of a circle, that walking distance all the way around, we're going to denote that as capital letter C, and it is 2 pi r. So 2 times pi times the radius. And if you don't know the radius, you could just say pi times the diameter, because 2 radii makes a diameter. So those two formulas are interchangeable. And then when we address circumference, it's just basic units, so inches, centimeters, feet, whatever. Area, remember, will be units squared. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. So that's kind of the notes. Let's jump right in. Here is a copy of our assignment. Again, I'm going to do the evens when it clears up. You guys will be tasked with the odds. Just want to make sure that I've got all the right things directly in front of me. I do. Okay. Focus. Come on. Focus. Well, that's not better. My dog, you might be able to hear her, and I don't know how often I reference her in my videos, but she's taking a mid-morning nap right now, literally at my feet, and she's dreaming. And so her little paws are running and her tail kind of flips around a little bit, and I think she's chasing a squirrel in her dreams, and she usually kind of goes whoosh when she chases a squirrel. So if you hear that, it's a good dream. It's just kind of the weird sound effects in my work from home world. So let's take a look at problem number 2. On these problems, our task is to take whatever information we have and run with it. So if we know that the diameter is 32 feet, then from T to U, that whole distance is a diameter of 32 feet. Okay. If we cut that in half, we're going to have a radius of 16 feet. So each one of these little guys would be 16. Oh, my equipment irritates the crap out of me. There we go. So once we have that, then we can start working through our circumference using whichever formula we want, because they're truly the same thing. We could say 2 times pi times 16, or 32 times pi. If you guys notice the directions, it's asking us to use 3.14 for pi. So I'm going to turn on my calculator, and we're going to do 2 times 3.14 for pi times the length of my radius, which is 16, and we are looking at about 100.48 feet. Now, if you don't like doing that, I'll totally be okay that if you write your circumference as 32 pi feet, that's fine, but you'll notice that on the answer key I followed the directions and you'll have decimal answers. In terms of the area, remember that our area formula is going to be pi times our radius squared. So you guys are going to see that I'm going to go 3.14 times 16, because that's our radius squared, and we are looking at about 803.84 feet squared. So there's number 2. I'm going to jump ahead to number 4. So if we have a radius of 12, that means that our entire diameter will be 24 centimeters. Our circumference, we can take diameter times pi. So 24 times 3.14. If I could type correctly, life would make my just so much better. 75.36 centimeters. And if you're like, why'd you use the 24? Because that's my diameter. You could also do 2 times your radius, which brings you back to your diameter. For area, we are going to have pi times our radius squared. Remember, you're only squaring the radius, not the pi. And so that's going to be about 452.16 centimeters squared. I'm wondering if you really need any more help, because I'm hoping this is pretty speedy. Like, this should be one of your faster assignments in a while. But I'll just keep on going. If I double my radius, I'll get 26 inches. If I do 26 times 3.14, my diameter, times my 3.14 per pi, I'll have 81.64 inches. Remember, circumference is just plain units. And then I'm going to take my radius squared times 3.14, and we're looking at 530.66 inches squared for number 6. One more. Knock out number 8. My radius is 20. My diameter has to be 40. Take 40 as your diameter times 3.14, or 20 times 2, which will give you the 40 anyway. 125.6 yards. And then if I take my radius and I square it, so 20 squared times 3.14 in place of pi, we are looking at 1,256 yards squared. Not bad. There you go, guys. Take good care of yourselves. I miss you. Bye.